Go.
Hi everybody, it's Natalie Edwards here on Radio Works World, and I'm here with the fabulous Marina, and today we are talking about listening to your intuition. My name is Natalie, as I said. I'm based in London, and I am a previous corporate girl turned party girl turned yoga teacher turned mindset coach, and I work with new female entrepreneurs who are really struggling with self-doubt and really loving and believing themselves. And the things I love to talk about are listening to your intuition, having faith in that intuition and acting on it, because that's what I really believe is really, really powerful for us all.
Wow, Natalie, welcome and welcome to everyone who is listening in right now. And I know it could be morning, afternoon, evening, or middle of the night, but there is one thing we have in common. We have here the fabulous Natalie Edwards, and she is going to talk to us about a party of the mind, intuition. Over to you, Natalie.
Thank you, Marina. It's such an honor to be here. I love the work that you do. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me.
Well, what would the world look like without you, Natalie? I can't imagine that. You inspire so many people at so many levels. And I know some people will think, well, I could be Natalie, and I know you'll give them what they need to switch on the green lights into their own intuition. Over to you, Natalie.
Thanks, Marina. Well, really, I will keep this short and sweet. I won't talk too much about myself because I love empowering, as you said, other women to really tap into what I believe is an inner knowing that we have within our bodies, and we have that from the moment that we're born. But the problem is that we get conditioned through life to live by someone else's rules, or live a slightly different lifestyle, or even become a different person so that we can fit into what society demands of us. And I'm so passionate about this because I ignored my intuition for such a long time. And what I actually did was selectively numb my intuition. And unfortunately, I got very heavily into the party scene. I used to do drugs and drink a lot of alcohol, and that was my way of escaping my reality. So I was an art director in the corporate world. But really what I was escaping mainly was the pain in my body, because I have scoliosis. It's quite a common deformity in the spine. It's like a curvature in the spine. It's quite common throughout the world, actually. So maybe some of your listeners have the same. And it was just so painful for me to sit constantly at a desk, in a desk job I didn't enjoy, feeling really powerless, not really understanding how I'd got myself to that place. And so this was my way of escaping my reality every weekend. But I think when you begin to realize or listen to the signals that your body's giving you, it's really powerful, because I believe that's where we have to start. We have to start with the body and really grounding into and listening what's actually going on. So if there's any of your listeners that are feeling stuck right now, that stuck will probably be manifesting as pain or frustration. And I can completely empathize with that, because it's a really difficult place to be. But as soon as we drop into our bodies and start listening to what's going on, we begin to cultivate a deeper sense of ourselves and who we are, and we're able to tap into our guts. And there obviously is that phrase that goes, listen to your gut, listen to what it has to tell you. And that really is the basics of listening to your intuition, because any time that we're making a decision in life about how we're going to move forward or change our circumstances, there's only ever two choices that we have. We can either make that decision from a place of love, or we can make it from fear. And when we make it from fear, usually all of our decisions are wrong, or they end up taking us down a road that we don't really want to go down. But when we make it from love and we really listen to what lights us up versus listening to what everyone else is telling us that we should do, then we tend to make these really powerful decisions that have been made from a place of trust. And then we end up on the path that we're supposed to be on, basically. I don't know if any.
Yes, this is so strong. The message is very, very profound, and I feel I resonate with your message myself, and I'm sure our listeners, they could understand exactly where you are coming from, because they've been there at some point in their life. And if that moment passed and they managed to overcome that difficulty, there will be more. So it's always, we are saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I was wondering if you could share with us the, your blueprint, how you manage your emotions, how you migrate from a place of fear into a place of knowing that you could control your own mind, and the difference between an abandoned person like yourself and somebody who feels overwhelmed and crushed by life demands is basically trading your circumstances, your existing circumstances, into beautiful for beautiful thoughts, for powerful thoughts, for thoughts that help you understand what you hold inside, how powerful you truly are without really knowing.
It's a really great question, Marina. It's just amazing to watch women do this. But when we're feeling stuck, when we're not feeling very empowered, we're usually sitting at the bottom of the emotional scale. And that's where I was, and maybe that's where some of your listeners have been or currently are. And the bottom of that scale is usually a really deep sense of emptiness and powerlessness. And we've often forgotten, because we've got ourselves into a situation and we're weighed down by responsibility, that we all have choices. And so the first thing that I began to really ground into was this idea again, that hang on a second, I am choosing this reality, and there is something that I can do about it. And it's just a gradual unwinding. But the first thing that I really did was just slow down. And when I actually took a yoga teacher training, because I wanted to learn more about my body, and I did teach yoga for a while. But I mean, not everybody has to take a yoga teacher training, obviously, but anything that you can do to get yourself back in your body and start breathing again, just start listening. And even just simple things like writing down some of the things that make you happy and that light you up. Because I had a moment when I was in corporate when I realized I was doing everything for everybody else. I was doing everything for my partner at the time. I was working really hard for my boss. I was putting everyone before myself. And I'd completely lost touch with what made me happy. I wasn't singing or dancing anymore. I wasn't doing any kind of art, because I've always been very creative. I was managing a team of designers, but I wasn't doing anything creative myself. And I'd forgotten about my body and how it worked, and the importance of moving it every day. And a really big shift for me was learning more about meditation. And it's not for everybody, it's not everyone's thing, but I do personally recommend it, and I recommend it to my clients as well when they work with me, because it just takes you out of, like you said, Marina, that overwhelmed state. The problem with overwhelm is, when we're overwhelmed, we have gone out of our body, we've gone way up into our head, and we're just not present in the moment at all throughout our day. And so meditation helps you come back into your body, but it also helps you realize that you are not your thoughts. Because something that I really struggled with was this constant feeling of fear, like you described, and overwhelm and anxiety. And inside, I was constantly saying to myself, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I almost feeling like I'm going to burst into tears? And then something that's really powerful about meditation is it allows you to realize that you're not your thoughts, and you can separate from your thoughts and get back to who you are. And that for me was the biggest, most profound step on my road to empowerment. Just realizing that you have choice, and you can detach from those thoughts. Otherwise, if you keep listening to them, they're just stories, they're just fears. And the more you listen to them, the more out of your body you get, and the more difficult everything feels. But a really simple step would be just having some quiet time to yourself, and writing down a list of what makes you happy, and then asking yourself, being really honest, what am I doing right now that's making me happy? And then just pick one thing from that list and then go and do it. And it's just simple steps like that, when you realize that you kind of, I don't know, I was in a funny place where I was waiting for permission from somebody to give me permission to make myself happy. And we have to realize that we are responsible for our own happiness.
This is again, it's very profound, and I'm just mesmerized by your youth. You are so young, so beautiful, and you are so wise, and you perhaps understand that our listeners are going through a phase in their life when, from one hand, they are aware of their commitments, and they are aware that society, family, um, their company, their employer, their clients are expecting high deliverance from them. And from the other hand, they know deep in their heart, like exactly like you said, that there is more to life, and there is more than this terrifying thoughts telling you you are a failure, you are not good enough, you are going to fail, you are not delivering enough. And to me, in my own situation, took a lot longer to wake up from this race and turn the race into a journey. And I felt, for decades, I felt that I'm chasing something which is outside myself,
Mm.
and is something that doesn't even have a name. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I was just delivering what other people would expect of me. So I came to understand, traveling the world, going to places I never been before, um, meeting people, total strangers, and listening to their story helped me understand and meet myself. And I realized that actually we are made of the same essence, is a divine essence. And that essence is a choice. You could use it or you could ignore it. So the differences in people's life are made by your ability to use that divine essence we all got at birth, like you said. And
Mm.
then what I realized, Natalie, is that chasing external goals is not something I decided. I was conditioned to believe that if I want results, I have to go out there and chase them. Where in
Mm.
reality, this doesn't work this way, because even after you make your first million, it will be the second million will be expected of you, and then the third million. So the race gets tighter, and you are racing against something you can't see. But
Mhm.
when you look inside, and instead of looking outside, you look inside and you see what you have, and it's so abundant. And you realize that yes, you can't change your circumstances, but you could change your thoughts. Humans are the only creatures, funny as they are, that could really control their thoughts, their own thoughts. Nobody could come to your mind and tell you what to think, how to think. And our biggest challenge is this: how I'm going to do this. Well, Natalie does it. How is she doing, this journey, and controls it, how she navigates through life. But actually, the word how should not be used. The word how should be erased from every single language, because in
Mm.
effect, it's not how, it's wow. It's not how I'm going to create this or how I'm going to deliver this. Is all about wow, I'm going to create this because I can. And to me, your topic, inspiration, is the most important starting point,
Mhm.
because we all have it. You see? So people are conditioned to focus on what they don't have. They don't have enough time, they don't have enough money, they don't have enough relationships, they don't have enough knowledge, where in effect, it's who they are.
Mm.
So it's all about turning your to-do list, your daily to-do list, into your to-be list. And exactly like you said, take time off, even in the middle of the crisis, or that's the best time to take time off and clear your mind of bad thoughts and change them, replace them with beautiful thoughts. Write down what makes you happy, what you have in your mind, because everything happens twice. First in your mind, and then you bring that into reality. And it's not a matter of how, it's a matter of, wow, I'm going to bring this dream to life. I'm going to create this reality. This is my only reality, the one I create. Over to you, Natalie.
Marina, I've got tears in my eyes listening to you. I couldn't agree more with what you were saying about the how. And somebody else, someone, I can't remember who it was that said this to me, maybe one of my teachers, but it's probably a quote that's around as well. But someone said to me, the how, Natalie, is none of your business. And it's so true. The how is none of our business. The universe takes care of the how. We need to surrender and let go of anything that's not working for us, anything that's out of alignment. And when I say alignment, I mean anything that just doesn't bring us to life, doesn't light us up from the inside out. You know, it doesn't have to be a big leap like I just quit my job. That's not for everyone, but you can start to take steps towards making space for what you want. But to make space for what you want, you have to let go of the stuff that's not working for you. And that means people, situations, work, anything that you're doing that you probably shouldn't be doing because you've taken it on as a responsibility, but it clearly isn't yours and it's not making you happy. And I think, I can't remember who wrote this quote, but it says, can you remember the person that you were before the world told you who you should be? And I love that quote because
Oh my
that's what you need to do. You need to come back to yourself and get really interested in who you are. As you said, Marina, we can't, we can't look outside of ourselves. We can't go to our partner to ask them for everything that we need. We can't look for it in drugs or drink or whatever it is that we're doing to keep ourselves feeling, like rewarded at the end of the week. It doesn't work. There comes a point when you have to come back to yourself and start listening, as you said, to your intuition. And that's where the magic happens.
Wow, Natalie. I wrote that down. I absolutely love it. It's so true, and the power of words, you see, and coming back to the power we hold and the power the world holds against us, with our acceptance, basically, is the power of information. We are surrounded and swamped, and we swing. And we swim in information, and sometimes are the wrong type of information. And information could be taken for knowledge, but actually, in my own experience, I realized that the quantity is not abundance of wealth, of wealth. So the information you are accepting from the outside world are not necessarily the information or the knowledge you need. So
Mm.
the whole idea is to create a two-way street. Yes, you take in, but you give out. So it's more about giving. It's quite amazing how having is about being, is not and about giving. And to me, the most pressure truth I learned in the last 3 years since I started traveling the world and learning from people and hoovering the planet for big idea is that the secret of living your life with purpose is sharing, like we are doing
Mm.
now. So sharing what you know is more important than learning what other people know, because might not be what you need to know, and you forget to see what you already know and how much you know. It's just amazing when you start writing down how much you know about something you are passionate about it, and you realize that there are things you never heard before, and somebody would benefit if you could realize that you are born to create better life choices. It's not about somebody else. It's not about you. It's about creating better life choices. And sharing is a very powerful concept. And some people think that selling is what is going to bring them abundance, but I have to disagree because selling is not necessarily listening to your audience, is not necessarily attracting ideal clients. We live in a very sophisticated era where everything is available, and yet it's so much nothingness, it's so much emptiness. Everybody feels like in a vacuum because of all this information, attacking you. So you have to channel your thinking in a way that you don't confuse information with knowledge. You don't confuse quantity and overwhelm um, you know information with abundance and happiness and wealth. So wealth is a state of mind, and intuition is the one key solution for turning your race where you've been thrown into a journey, into serendipity. You never know where you are going, but you are going somewhere so beautiful where the world is better because of your own contribution. Over to you, Natalie. We are closing very soon, so we have another few moments for you to share your last thought for the day, and hopefully our audience, and we are very grateful for you listening in today, I will be able to have more of you next time. Over to you, Natalie.
Thank you, Marina. I couldn't agree more about grounding into who you are, and really just, I think that's a great way to finish the call. So one of the first exercises I do with private clients when they come on board is get them connected to their personal story. And I couldn't agree more with everything that you were just saying, because everybody's magic, and like you mentioned earlier, their essence is in their message. And it's just about gradually doing everything that you can to shift that doubt around what you, because everybody doubts that what they have to say is powerful, but what you know, like you said, and the transitions that you've been through and the things that you've survived in your life will inspire other people. And that's what will draw to you, your tribe. Like you said, it's all about sharing. And I'm the same as you, Marina. I love interviewing people and sharing their stories. And so I'd really encourage the listeners, just as a way to finish, to get connected to their personal story by spending time, an afternoon journaling about their personal story, who they are, the transitions they've been through, how those transitions have transformed their life. And then also writing down the tools. Like every single one of us is born with a set of tools. We don't need to go out and learn a whole load of new ones. I mean, there's nothing wrong with training and tooling up, but like you said, it's external stuff. Everybody needs to tap in more to the unique print of who they are so that they can light up the rest of the world. I couldn't agree more.
From both of us at Radio W.O.R.K.S World is intuition. Intuition is a key that will open any door. Goodbye.
Thank you, Marina.
Goodbye.